Enterprise Management 360.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Chat. I'm Rima Farhan, and on today's episode I'm going to be speaking with Nuno António, who is the Director of Analytics and Artificial Intelligence at Wipro Limited. On today's episode, Nuno is going to be walking us through the minefield that is AI and ethics. So let's go ahead and find out his thoughts on the matter. Hi Nuno, thank you for joining me today. I'm excited to be speaking with you about these issues. So let's start off by acknowledging that although AI is being increasingly implemented to take over tasks where appropriate, humans still have much to contribute before AI reaches its full potential. What can be said about the human factor in AI, and what happens when humans are no longer needed?
Hi, good morning. First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be in this interview. And I'm honored to be invited to talk about this interesting and I would say very, very important topic for our civilization, for mankind. The human factor plays still a very big role in the sense that our brain cortex still has some tricks that can't be reproduced by machines. And of course, we must realize that if we think about this in a time scale point of view, we are more competent than monkeys, and monkeys are more competent than robins, for example, and we associate that with our brains. At this point, the human brain is still capable of performing tasks and understanding the environment and generalizing everything that's going to be the outcome in a way that machines can't. What I mean is the human factor is still very necessary to augment tasks where machines have proven to be more capable right now. And this is not only a philosophical statement, it has been widely proven over the last years. To perform a certain number of tasks has led us to outcomes that were not in the direction of the well-being or the thriving of humanity. Why was this happening? Because when we make a decision, we humans are reading data from around us, from the moment we are making that decision. But when we want to generate or to decide what will be the best possible outcome amongst the ones we are evaluating, we embed into that decision all the learning, not only things that came to us genetically, but also teachings from our parents, social constraints. And machines, at least at this point, are incapable of taking into account all this variety of sources of knowledge and learning that we have.
That's really insightful. Thank you for that, Nuno. But there are a number of ethical challenges associated with AI, one of which is bias. So how does AI bias arise, and what are our responsibilities in ensuring it doesn't continue to occur?
The first idea is that from the evolutionary point of view, we are not really adapted to sense danger. Even think about, this is just an analogy, but think about diseases. We might feel pain, a huge pain for a rash, but for example, our body is incapable of generating symptoms in the initial stage of cancer. And of course, the gravity, the problem, the outcome of both scenarios, it's totally different. And this works also at a psychological level. We are not getting as humans the right emotional responses for the problems that AI is giving today, and the big problems that under a negative scenario that can give in the future. The second one is we are giving machines an increasingly exponentially increasing amount of data through the IoT devices, and that data is covering more and more aspects of our lives. And this is not going to stop, and it's not going to get smaller, it's going to get bigger. And of course, this is being done for the benefit of mankind as well. We want that as humans. We want to make our life better. We want to reduce things that don't contribute to the general human well-being. And the third point is that, well, we are the ones that are coding the machines. So the machines end up being an extension of ourselves. So all problems and bias that we see, or many of the problems and bias we see in humanity, they end up being reflected in machines. And of course, the algorithm doesn't care how to do that unless we tell him that. So we've seen in many of the social media providers that there was a burst, a soaring in the number of news that stimulate, that promote outrage. Because we know that outrage is highly associated with a higher number of visits, with sharing pages, and with more time of permanence in the social networks. And of course, that's the concept of clickbaiting. I maximize the number of clicks, number of visits, and permanence. and that can be used as a source of revenue in advertising.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Tech Chat, and thank you so much to Nuno for the insightful discussion. And if you're interested in generating leads for your business, then head on over to the Tell Us Your Audience page on our website, where we can distribute your content across North America, APAC and Europe, generating MQLs and SQLs right back to you. We'll be back next week with another episode of Tech Chat. Until then, be sure to follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter, and head on over to em360tech.com for more great content.